Hi. I went thrift shopping. Hello and welcome back to my channel. That sounds crazy coming out of my mouth because as of today there's one video on my channel, but here's to the second video, and thank you so much if you watched the first one. It means so much to me. I have been on vacation for almost 2 weeks, like a week and a half. My boyfriend and I went to his family vacation for a couple days, and then we went to my family's vacation for a couple days, back to back. It was really nice just to be able to take off from work for a little bit and relax and hang out with family and go thrift shopping. So we probably went to every single thrift store in the area of the Outer Banks that we were staying in, and it was so much fun. We got a ton of books, 39 to be exact. In front of me sit 39 books. I have a problem. Also, the full TBR cart is crazy. I'm not even going to have room for all of these books on there, but when they're $1, excuse me. When they're $1.99, $2 for the hard copies, are you supposed to leave them there? Because I'm not going to. Go to Goodwill. I'm sure you have. But if you are looking for books, if you're running out of books to read, which obviously is not my issue, but if you have a little bit of extra money to spend, you can find so many good books in pretty good condition. Some of these are not in the best condition. We'll get into that later. And while you're thrifting, you might find the dreamiest, most cozy bookstore with the most fun atmosphere and events and sweetest people working there right near where you live. And that's what I did, and we will get into that later. But it's so much fun. I mean, just going and looking through the books, and even if you don't buy anything, it's still a fun time, you know. So yeah, this is probably an accumulation of 10 or more, probably more, thrift stores that my boyfriend and I went to, searching for all kinds of different books. I've got some classics. I've got some popular books that I have never read. I've got some Stephen King. I've got all kinds of books in front of me, and I cannot wait to get into them. One of the thrift stores that I never heard of before, probably, I don't know if it's solely at the Outer Banks or if there are more locations all around, but it was called Hotline Thrift or the Hotline Store or something like that. But basically, a majority of their proceeds go to raising awareness for and helping victims of domestic violence, and I think that that's really amazing. I love the idea that I'm giving my money not to, a big giant corporation. I know we all love Barnes & Noble. I'm a Barnes & Noble member myself, but it's nice sometimes to give your money to a smaller corporation that's for a really good cause. And especially like if you find little ma and pa used bookstores or even new bookstores, I don't know. I feel better about giving them my money. So yeah, let's get into these. My boyfriend and I, yesterday, I believe, or maybe the day before, I believe it was the day before, we looked on the back of every book. Like, you'll see where the barcode is. Typically, it will tell you how much the book costed, or however much it was when the book came out, when it was on, shelves or whatever. And we added it all up. It was a little over $1,600.
Hi, editing Rachel here. Girl, it was not $1,600. It was $600. Still a great deal, but let me be clear, $600 worth of books, not 16. Anyways, carry on.
Worth of books we bought in the last 2 weeks. We spent a little over $100. We had the extra cash to spend. We had a trip that got canceled, unfortunately, due to weather. So we had a little bit of money to spend, and we went all out. I'm very excited. My poor TBR card is quaking in her booties over there. But yeah, I have a bunch of different books. They're not in any real kind of order. The bookstore, the used and new bookstore that I'm going to tell you about later, I have those books that I got from there separate because I have a whole spiel about this store, okay? I'm very excited. So those are going to be separate. We'll do those at the end. But the rest of them, let's just get into it. Let me just show you what I got. So let's start the haul. Okay, so The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I have no idea what this book is about. Not a one. However, I know that it's a classic. I know that it's. I don't know anything about it. However, I've heard about it. I think maybe people have to read this for school or something. I literally don't know, but I saw it and it's in pretty good condition. It's a hardcover. I'm hoping that it's not a terrible book because I did find this exact book in almost every thrift store that I went into. So yeah, The Da Vinci Code, got that one. My boyfriend found this. This has been, I'm not sure if it's on my Goodreads want to read or maybe it's just in my Amazon cart or something. Yes, sweetie, I hear you. She's yelling at me. A long time ago, I got this scratch off, like, top 100 classic horror films, I think it was, scratch off movie poster where, like, you know, obviously you scratch it off, it tells you the classic horror film or whatever. And I watched Silence of the Lambs, and I realized that there's like a whole Hannibal Lecter series. I think there's this one, there's Hannibal Rising, there's Silence of the Lambs, and there's one more. I don't remember what it is right this second, but he found this one hardcover, so I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I think that one thing that's really fun too is trying to see if you can collect an entire series that you've been wanting only at thrift stores. Like, that just makes it so much more fun having a goal and like having a series that you know that you want to find while you're thrifting. So thanks, babe. This is a really good find. This next one, it's called Creepers. I have no idea what this book is about either. That might be a common theme in this video. However, it looks creepy. It's a hardcover edition. It's in decently good shape. Like, there's some dust and stuff on it, but like, it's in pretty good shape. There's no water damage. There's not a lot of like aging, damage or whatever. And sometimes it's fun to go into a book not knowing anything about it. So yeah, Creepers by David Morrell. I hope I'm saying that right. This was a crazy find. Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. So again, not super duper sure what this is about. I do prefer to, I'm a little bit of a collector, so I really enjoy collecting hardback books. You'll see, well, actually, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, these down here, I love the Barnes & Noble Collector's Editions. Those will never be read, ever. She agrees. They will never be read. They just look pretty on my shelf, and I think that they're beautiful. They're beautiful books. They have like the golden edges of the pages or whatever, and I just like collecting things. So I do like having the hardcovers. However, the more that I read, the more that I realize I like having a paperback just because you can bend it and you can, I know some people are like, don't break the spine.
I don't care.
I'm pretty rough with my books. I'll break the spine if I have to. It's just cozier to hold it and be able to, where your arms are not carrying this, 5-pound book around while you're trying to read. But I don't know. I think it's nice to have the hardback books. So yeah, Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. This book intrigued me. This one is Room by Emma Donoghue. It says soon to be a major motion picture. I have not seen this movie that I'm aware of, but it essentially, I don't know if it's from the perspective of the little boy, but there's this 5-year-old named Jack, and he lives in this room. To him, it's where he was born. It's where him and his mom eat, sleep, play, and learn, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just the room. But to Ma, it's the prison where she's been held for 7 years. So
I'm intrigued.
But yeah, it's a thriller read. So I'm always in the mood for a thriller read, especially as Halloween is approaching us. I don't want to hear you say that it's not, because it is. It absolutely is. So, Room. Milk and Honey. I know, that's an old one. However, I never got this book. It's really just a collection of poems. Some of them are like
deep and super emo.
And I'm here for that. I love an emo moment. So yeah, this is just a collection of poems. And I've seen a couple of them on like Pinterest and, Instagram. And there was a time when this was very, very popular, and I never owned a copy. I never read it. So that's just a fun little thing, unless it's sad. I mean, a lot of it probably is sad, so maybe it won't be a fun little thing, but I love that. I love if a book can make me feel something, and super into that. And like I said, guys, most of these books were $1.99. Most of the places we went, I believe Goodwill paperbacks are $1.99. Hardcovers are $2.99. So like, it's a steal. So the next one is Life of Pi by Jan Martel. I read this book in middle school or high school. I have a really bad memory. Like, it's borderline an issue in my day-to-day life. But Life of Pi, I've read this book. When I saw it, though, I've not thought about this book in a very long time. I did watch the movie. The movie was incredible. But I know that I read it when I was either in, like, towards the end of middle school or the beginning of high school. I don't remember, but I know that I read it, and I remember liking it. So yeah, this one was kind of a nostalgia buy for me. A couple of these are nostalgia buys, but yeah, I saw it and it made my heart happy, and I was like, aw. So I picked it up. Maybe I'll do a reread on that one. This one is called A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. As seen on TikTok, that little red dot right there is what made me buy it, because for better or for worse, we find books on Book Talk. Sometimes they're duds, sometimes they're 5 stars, sometimes they're not worth the hype, sometimes they are. Have I ever seen this book on Book Talk? No. No, I haven't. But they wouldn't put that on there if it wasn't true, right? I don't know. I don't know what it's about either. Little romance. I don't read a lot of romance. It's not my favorite. I know, unsubscribe, but I mean, it's fine. It can be done well. It's not super my thing. But I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. So we'll see. I like going into books blind. I think it's more fun that way. So yeah, a little romance, maybe a little, I don't know if forced proximity, I don't know if that's necessarily the trope, but it seems like 2 classmates that are forced to work together and then realize they kind of have some things in common, and then they fall in love. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's good or not. So there's that one. Y'all are about to be shook because I was shook. When I found this in a Goodwill, no, maybe not a Goodwill. No, yeah. I don't remember. I'm not even going to pretend. I don't remember. Fairy Tale. Look, can you see how good condition, like how good of a condition, how great the condition of this book is? Like that's nice. I mean, this could be picked up off a shelf at Barnes & Noble. It's like there's a couple little things here, but that can happen at Barnes & Noble too, from people picking up the books and putting them back down and like all that stuff. This is in very good condition. I was like, you're joking. I really love Stephen King. I love the way that he writes. I love the way that his books make you, like, they get a guttural reaction out of me, whether it's fear, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, whether it's whatever it is. He is like the king of horror and the king of characterization. I seriously believe that he is one of the best at making good characters, right? I get a little bit nervous about reading Stephen King books because I know that there are so many. She fast. I know that there's so many that tie into each other, so I never want to read one and then dislike it just for like a year later for me to read like the Dark Tower series, for example, and be like, oh, well, now I have to go reread this other book because that's what they were talking about and I didn't know. So he can be a little bit daunting to read because of his multiverse and like how everything kind of connects, but now I have it, so once I figure out what order to read it in, or if there's any books that I should read before this one or after this one, what have you, I have it, and it's in great condition. Like, what? Anyways. Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Next is one that's not in the best condition, but To Kill a Mockingbird. Everyone knows this book. By Harper Lee. Like, everyone knows To Kill a Mockingbird. I don't know what it's about. I do not know what it's about, but it's a classic. It's not in, well, you can't really tell, I guess, on camera, but, you know, it's not in the best condition, but I mean, it's a classic. Who cares? I saw it and I was like, hey, I haven't read this book yet. It'd be nice to have in my library, so I scooped it up. This is a Peter Straub book. I've never read any of his books. However, I know that Stephen King sings his praises, and they obviously have written, I think, a couple books together. So this is Mr. X by Peter Straub. So this will be my first book by him. It's not in the best condition, kind of like some water damage here and just maybe some general aging. It looks like it's probably an older book. We've got like a little bit of, you know, frayed edges and, you know, whatever. But there's something, some of y'all are going to get it and some of y'all are not going to get it, but there's something about a way a book smells. Especially an old book. Like, it just makes you feel like you're in a castle and you pulled a book off a shelf and you wiped the dust off of it and you're, you know, Belle sitting in her home library reading her ancient book. I don't know. She is running. Somebody has the zoomies. But anyway, I love the smell of a book. Old book smell, new book smell. I don't think I've ever smelled a book that didn't smell good. Smells amazing. The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. And it is what it is. Okay. So this is Gunslinger, which is one of the Dark Tower novels, I believe. The first, right? Gunslinger, I'm pretty sure, is the first one. This is just like a little small paperback version. I also found this one. So I have 2 different versions. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a collector, and when they're that cheap, you know, you can't not. So yeah, I got those, both by Stephen King, obviously. This one is called Behind Her Eyes, and it is a Netflix original series. So I'm very interested after I read this to watch the show. I feel like now I'm so excited because I have so many things to read. And in addition, I also have so many things now to watch. Like, a lot of these books have been made into movies and shows and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But this one specifically caught my eye because Stephen King said it's bloody brilliant. High praise from the king of horror himself, Sarah Pinborough. So, little... Oh, come here. She wanted to say hello. You want to say hello to the camera, Mama? No, she doesn't. Well, okay. So, Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Now, this is solely nostalgia right here. I found at 2 different thrift stores 2 out of 5 of the Secret Series books.
I ate these up.
In middle school. Ate them up. Loved every second of it. Very fun. It was probably my first introduction to like a book breaking the fourth wall, and I love that. Love that. I love movies that break fourth wall, books that break fourth wall. Love it. So this one is number 2, and this one is number 5 in the series. And so we're still on the lookout for 1, 3, and 4. And I refuse to pay full price for them. I refuse to buy them off Amazon. I want to find them while thrifting. So that is so fun. This is a really fun series. It's super young adult, like it's very much for children, and I'm going to eat it up just as much as I did when I was 13. Thank you. Moving on. City of Ember. I feel like I know everything about this book, and also I know nothing about this book. This book was big at one point, right? I think my boyfriend read it, and he doesn't read almost anything except nonfiction history war books, right? And he read this when he was in school. So it looks like there's a couple different books of Ember, but again, it's a children's book. But yeah, by Jean Duprat, I'm not sure, but oops, there's that. The City of Ember. This is another nostalgia. This is the second book to The House of Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I did not know that this was the second book when I picked it up, I'm not going to lie to you. But this is Hollow City, so the second novel. So I'll have to keep my eye out for the first novel because I never read the first one. I feel like there was a movie or a show or something at some point, and I feel like I did watch that. But yeah, this is the second book. Another nostalgia. Like I said, a lot of these are just going to be nostalgia. I found them and I was like, oh my gosh, these were big when I was in middle school, or I read them when I was in middle school, or whatever. I mean, check out the whole Twilight series right here. I love a good nostalgia moment. So yeah, I'll have to keep my eye out for the first one, and I'm sure it won't be too hard to find. I'm pretty sure I actually did find it somewhere. Maybe I should get it. Isn't she so cute? I'm biased, but she's just the cutest little baby. Here you go. Go play. Anyway, so there's that one. Next up is another nostalgia. This is Paper Towns by John Green. I did read The Fault in Our Stars, and I did read Looking for Alaska. I never read the one about the Catherines, but I never read Paper Towns either. So we've come a long way since The Fault in Our Stars. We've come a long way in literature in general. But this is a little, throwback moment for me. She just wants to play. She's got the zoomies and she wants to play. But anyway.
I've got the burps. Sorry.
Paper Towns by John Green. I'm interested to read this. Is it maybe gonna be garbage? Yeah. 2 thumbs up from Cleo. She said it's probably gonna be garbage. What? Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. What is it? I will snuggle you in just a minute. Can I make a video first and then snuggle you after? Will this be a dumpster fire while I'm reading it? Probably, because literature has come a long way. However, I think it will give me the middle school vibes. So I'll just pretend I'm in middle school when I read it and all will be well. Anyways. Next is not something that I would typically pick up. I don't know who this guy is. The Night of the Gun by David Carr. A reporter investigates the darkest story of his life, his own. On the front, it does have a little excerpt from what Stephen King had to say about the book. And he said, anyone who knows now or ever has known the addictive and ultimately deadly affections of booze and dope will be moved and shaken, as I was, by this beautiful, horrifying memoir. David Carr has summoned everything that matters about the loaded gun of substance abuse. Now, I don't personally know anyone in my family that's like super close to me that has struggled with substance abuse. Like my parents, didn't. I don't know what it's like to, grow up with someone who suffers with substance abuse, but I think that it's a really interesting memoir, and it sounds really cool, that he wrote a story about the darkest parts of his life, and I'm assuming how he overcame it, and I think that this one might be a little bit of a tearjerker. I think that it'll be good. I think it'll be interesting, and I'm excited to get into that sometime. A little nonfiction, a little memoir moment. So that'll be at least an insightful read, So yeah, The Night of the Gun. She's ugly, okay? She is well loved. She is falling apart at the seams. And I love that about her. I mean, the water damage, the aging, the broken spine. I mean, it's like really just, doesn't even really hold its shape anymore. But holy cow, the complete uncut edition of The Stand. This is a
behemoth
of a book. Very intimidating. However, all of the reviews that I've heard of it said you won't want it to end. So this will probably be the only book on my TBR 1 month. But I do have the Barnes & Noble Collector's Edition version of this book. And oh, beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. With the gold on the... It's beautiful. But like I said, we don't read these. These are for to be pretty. That is all. So this one has been read a time or two, maybe. Also, look at him. Look how young. That's insane. Anyways. So yeah, The Stand. It like hurts my wrist even to hold this book up like this. Ooh. ASMR moment. Ooh, Dr. Pepper break. Intermission. These next ones are from a bookstore called Island Bookstore. My boyfriend bought me most of these, but the 2 that I bought myself, Jaws because I know that movie traumatized all of us, but now I can read it in book form. So that'll be so fun. So there's that. And then I also bought Something Wicked This Way Comes. This is one of Mike's Book Review's favorite horror novels. It is by Ray Bradbury, same author who wrote Fahrenheit 451. So I don't know anything about this one either, but I definitely wanted to check it out because if he recommends a book, like, to me, that's just confirmation that it's a great book. Like, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna check it out. A lot of the books that he likes, I also like. So if you're watching this, hi, I'm a fan. You rock, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, so those are the two that I purchased, and then my boyfriend did buy a couple for me. So he got me Christine. I haven't read this one. It's like a classic. And right along with Christine in the classic realm, Salem's Lot. I have also not read this one. And last but not least, Thinner. This is a Richard Bachman book. So it says his doctor tells him he needs to lose 50 pounds. Then he commits vehicular manslaughter. And then he gets like a spell cast on him, and then he starts losing weight really quickly and can't stop losing weight. Thinner by Stephen King. And then this one I bought from a new bookstore as well. I don't remember exactly where this one was, but we all know Frida McFadden, Never Lie. I have one of them, maybe The Inmate. I believe I have on my Kindle. I don't think I've read any of her books yet. Oh, and I have The Housemaid. That series is blowing up right now. I have the first book in the Housemaid series on my Kindle as well as The Inmate. But this will probably end up being my first Frida McFadden book, so that's exciting. And then these are not books at all, but I super have to show these off to you. There was one thrift store where I did not find any books, but it's totally okay because they had the
Cutest
collection of earrings. Those are mermaid tails. What? Those are so precious. I love a cute earring moment. This is like, not necessarily boba tea, but like juice. I don't know if you can really see what's in there. It's like little grapes in there.
So cute.
And then these are little yellow gummy bears. Oh, so cute. I wanted to focus, please. There we go. Oh, how cute are those? In love. And then these are little froggies. Focus. Hello. Oh, aren't they precious? The little froggies. And then these are little duckies. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. Okay, and that's all the earrings that I got. Last but most certainly not least, I found the cutest bookstore I've ever been to, and it is called Fred and June's Books. We thought we were done thrifting. We had literally just picked up pizza, put it in the back of my car, and I was like, there's one more place that we have to check out, because most thrift stores and stuff close around 6 or 7, and this place is open until 8, I believe. And so I was like, oh, there's one more place that's open. We have to go. And I'm so glad that we did, because it is the cutest little place. So it's on Main Street in Mooresville, and it's got, like, outside they have kind of a similar cart to that, like a little 3-tiered cart, and they have free books. And most of these are pretty nice books. The owner is pretty particular about what books he takes in that are used. So if they've got any water damage or like aging, like kind of how some of these do, he'll put them out there, and they're completely for free. Even if it's just like really good books that are just a little water damaged or a little loved on, you know, whatever. And they'll be out there for free. They have all kinds of events. When we were there on Sunday, there was an open mic poetry thing going on, which was really cool. They have used books. They have new books. While you're shopping, everything with a sticker on it is a used book. I don't know how long they're doing this offer, but when I was there on Sunday, if you bought 2 used books, you got 1 for free. And if you bought 3 new books, you got 1 for free. So we bought a lot of books, and they were all used, and 4 of them we got for free. Please, if you're in the area, check them out. They're amazing. They've also got the blind mystery date with a book, where it kind of tells you a synopsis of the book on the front, like what genre it's in, kind of what it's about, what its rating on Goodreads is, all that type of thing. They have a whole big kids area with like a little playground for kids. I believe it's every Saturday they do a story time for kids, which is so sweet. I don't have any children, but when I do, we're going. Like, it's so precious. They had a lady there that was selling, she's local, and she sells teas, and we got to taste some of her teas, and they were really good. I got her card as well. So shop local. Like, I love finding local gems, and they have new books. Like, they had a bunch of, you know, new releases. They had a ton of stuff. Like, I love supporting a little small town ma and pa situation. So please, if you're interested, go check them out. Again, it's Fred and Junes books. I will put them in the description as well. So fun. They've got their Facebook, their Instagram. They have a TikTok account. The other day they did like a ASMR around the bookstore, and it was so cozy and amazing. Loved it. If you know me, you know I love ASMR. If y'all want to see ASMR, let me know. Be happy to post some of that as well. But anyway, so all of these are from Fred and Junes, and they are all used, and they are all in really good condition. So first of all, the whole entire Maze Runner series, we love that. My boyfriend's actually the one that wanted these. He picked these up, and I said, okay, but can we keep them at my apartment? Because I will read them, because I love YA books. I love them. There's just something so cozy and amazing about them, and I adore them, and I love them, and they're amazing, and that is a hill that I will die on. I don't care if you're
103.
Read a YA book. It will make you feel like a kid again. It will make you feel all of the feelings of being young and reading your first favorite book and getting into series and reading on the bus and reading as soon as you get home when you should have probably been doing your homework, and sneaking a light in your room so you can read all night long when you're supposed to be sleeping and then you're tired the whole next day. Read a YA book. They're amazing. All right. Now, the ones that I got, they had Later by Stephen King. This is one that I hadn't really heard of. Only the dead have no secrets. Anyways, Later. I also got another Frida McFadden book. This one is The Coworker. I love me a spooky book. Mr. Mercedes, one of the 3, I believe there are in the trilogy. I want to say 3. Got the first one. I've heard this is a really good one. A lot of people like this one. I have no idea what it's about. This whole video is just me having no idea what anything is about. Accurate. I found Hannibal Rising in hardcover to go with my Hannibal that we found at Goodwill. So now I just need Silence of the Lambs and the other one. Red Dragon. Yes. Okay, wait. Is this the order? Hannibal Rising, Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, hey. Now I have 2 of the 4. Good deal. I also found The Regulators, which is written under Richard Bachman, Stephen King. I don't know a lot of the backstory into why he wrote as Richard Bachman for a second. But yeah, this is one of his books under the author name Richard Bachman. Haven't heard a lot about this one, to be honest. I think Mike talks about it a little bit, but I've watched so many of his videos in a very short span of time while I was on vacation that I could not even tell you which one it was in, but The Regulators. I have Wolves of the Calla, which is one of the Dark Tower series. Number 5. V is 5, right? Pretty sure it is. 5, right, because the I before is 4 and the I after is 6. Yeah. So the 5th Dark Tower book, it is also a hardcover, so that's really fun. And this is a cool. I mean, I'm sure there's different covers and stuff that were made for the different. You know what I'm talking about. But I think this one's pretty cool. I have no idea what the Dark Tower series is about, but again, look at this little guy. It is not going to show. Look at young Stephen King. Crazy. Anyways, so I have this one. Second to last, Gerald's Game. Heard there's a movie. I mean, I know that there's a movie. Not I've heard. I know there's a movie, and from what I've heard, it's a really good movie. So I try to hold off. I try to hold off and wait. I try to hold off and watch movie adaptations to. I try to hold off when I know that there's a movie adaptation of a book, and I try to read the book before I watch the movie. So I will do that with this one as well. And a used, in mint condition, if you ask me, Holly, Stephen King's newest novel. Well, no, You Like It Darker, I think, is the newest one, but if I'm not mistaken, that's a group of short stories. Holly, one of Stephen King's newer books, and it's in fabulous condition. So, yeah. So those are all of the books that I got from Fred and Junes. Again, all of the rest of the books that I showed were from Goodwill, Hotline, random thrift stores, little ma and pa bookstores, little hole-in-the-wall places that we found and spent $115 in and had an amazing time. I highly recommend thrifting for books. As you can see, a lot of these were in great condition, and they're now mine. And now I'm going to go see if I can fit them all on my TBR cart. I can't. So I probably should go ahead and make my August TBR video then. So I can take some off so I can make room for the new ones. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have not yet, you could go back and watch the last video I did. I used TBR prompts and I picked all of the books that I was going to read for July, and I did read all of them, and I even read some extras. So there will be a new video coming soon on my July wrap-up and my August TBR. If you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing as well, because I'm having so much fun with the series. And for my friends out there that are coming from my social media and liking and commenting and subscribing, you guys are amazing and I love you so much. Yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful, safe rest of your day. I hope that you take care of yourself, and I hope that you sit down and read a book this week, because there's nothing better. If you know anything about these books that I knew nothing about, if you know anything about any of them, or if I happen to show one of your favorite books, please do let me know down below. If there's anything that you want to say about any of these books, the comment section is open. Let me know. I will reply to my 10 subscribers that I think I have, maybe a little bit more than that. You guys rock. yeah, so if you know anything about any of these, if you read them, let me know your experience with them. Did you like them? Did you hate them? What did you rate them? Again, I will put my Goodreads and my Instagram in the description below, as well as Fred and June's books, because you guys should totally support them because they're amazing. They just opened up in August of 2023, so they're still, kind of new. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.